With us now to discuss, Maria Cardona, CNN political commentator and Democratic strategist, and Evan Siegfried, Republican strategist and commentator and author of GOP GPS, How to Find the Millennials and Urban Voters the Republican Party Needs to Survive. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Victor.
All right, Evan, let's start here. President Trump just brought up Hillary Clinton's emails alongside the president of Italy just a few days ago. Does this ending of the multi-year investigation deflate the what about her emails diatribe, the rally call?
Not exactly. If you read the report, it was very careful to say they didn't deliberately mishandle classified information. But everything else about it was deliberate. They deliberately built a homebrew server to circumvent public records laws and avoid having to disclose communications that they are legally required to keep on State Department servers. Further, it was a national security risk because she did not have a whole bunch of protections to allow, that would have prevented foreign actors or other malign actors from hacking it, as opposed to the State Department, which has a much better IT security apparatus. It was a very deliberate, wrong, and illegal way of going about things. And as a former federal official myself, if I had done that, I would have been fired and possibly prosecuted.
Maria?
I can't believe we're relitigating this yet again after there's been so many investigations that have cleared Hillary Clinton of any wrongdoing whatsoever. It's a little ridiculous and frankly laughable that Trump is continuing to use this. Though, Victor, to your question, I don't think he's going to stop using it, but it's laughable and hypocritical. Because what has his own administration been doing? What have we learned recently that Giuliani and diplomats working for the administration have been communicating on WhatsApp, have been communicating on other apps that are completely insecure when it comes to national security issues. And we have also learned that Jared Kushner and others in his administration also have been using private email servers. So give me an effing break, because this is ridiculous that Trump continues to use this as a foil, but he's not going to stop because he's completely insecure. He knows he's an illegitimate president that was helped by the Russians in getting elected in 2016, and we are seeing his meltdown about it every single day.
All right, let's move on to another topic here, and I want to talk Syria. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wrote this op-ed for the Washington Post published overnight, and I want to read two lines, the first two of it. Withdrawing U.S. forces from Syria is a grave strategic mistake. It will leave the American people and homeland less safe, embolden our enemies, and weaken important alliances. Evan, to you, how does his condemnation, after what we've heard from other Republicans on the Hill, change this conversation, or does it?
Well, first of all, he's 100% right. I mean, Trump's decision to willy-nilly pull out of Syria was a strategic blunder, which has only enabled Recep Erdogan to go out and invade and hurt our allies. Further, it has hurt our ability to look our allies in the face and say, we'll have your back on something. Our credibility with the rest of the world is completely diminished. And Mitch McConnell's trying to band-aid a gaping wound right now by standing up and saying we should have gone further than what the House resolution did, disapproving of the president's conduct. I think it's also very, very telling that President Trump said he wants out of the Middle East. We don't want any forever wars. We don't need American troops in the Middle East. Yet, in the last 2 weeks, he sent 3,000 more troops to Saudi Arabia. It's completely nonsensical, and there really isn't any sort of ideology governing this foreign policy. It's all knee-jerk, seat of the pants.
Well, Maria, let me come to you. After the debate, the CNN and New York Times debate this week, we saw Democrats condemn the president's choice and how he pulled U.S. troops out of Syria. But CNN contributor Peter Beinart has a piece in The Atlantic this weekend calling Democrats hypocrites for condemning the president over Syria. He points to several statements, but this specifically, this is Senator Warren at the ABC debate in September, and this is on Afghanistan. Let's watch this.
You have said of Afghanistan, let's help them reach a peace settlement. It is time to bring our troops home, in your words, starting right now. Would you keep that promise to bring the troops home starting right now with no deal with the Taliban?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. What we're doing right now in Afghanistan is not helping the safety and security of the United States. It is not helping the safety and security of the world. It is not helping the safety and security of Afghanistan.
Pulling them out without a deal with the Taliban and just bringing troops home, would that not, to Peter's point, leave Afghans exposed, Maria?
Well, I will tell you this. I am 100% confident that any person in the Democratic primary right now would do a much better job on national security and foreign policy than this president. I agree with Evan that his approach to this is completely knee-jerk, and it has nothing to do with keeping America safe. On the contrary, I think it is making America much more unsafe.
But to the point, what is Elizabeth Warren or several
point,
other Democrats pitching as it relates to Afghanistan
that
is so different than what we're seeing in northern Syria?
Well, to your point, again, I guarantee you that if they were going to do that, they would do it with a plan. They wouldn't do it over Twitter. They wouldn't do it from one day to the next. They wouldn't do it because they cut a deal with Turkey's President Erdogan. They wouldn't do it perhaps because they cut a deal with Russia back in 2016 as payback for having elected President Trump. And they wouldn't do it in a way that would completely betray our allies, the Kurds, who have helped us time and time again, and who were the ones who were the majority responsible for essentially decapitating ISIS. And so, again, I go back to, if that is her plan, and if that is the plan of Democrats who want to take troops out of Afghanistan or out of the Middle East, they would do it with a plan.
Maria,
plans are something that this president does not understand.
Got to wrap it there. Maria Cardona, Evan Siegfried, thank you both.
Thank you, Victor.